2023 hasn't really been the year we envisioned, but look, it is what it is. When I went on the IL, it was very similar to last year, so I was hoping I could get through it. But as we progressed on, it had just kind of torn off a little bit more. So we had the initial tear that I've had in the distal part for years. That wasn't an issue. It was a new tear up the top from last year, and I do want to preface with the fact that we did not rush back. I threw more bullpens than probably anybody in this clubhouse while I was coming back. So I want to make sure that that is well known, that it was never a rush back. It was a little bit of pain before I went on my rehab assignment, and it was something that I've dealt with before, and I felt like I could throw through it. And it just kept kind of compounding upon each other, but I'm not exactly one to say I can't pitch, and went out there and took the balls for as long as I can, and unfortunately it ended up this way, but now I'll be 35 with a brand new elbow, so hopefully it gives me an extra couple years.
What were you thinking when you got that news? What went through your mind right then and there?
I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to change it. It will be nice to be able to brush my teeth without pain for the first time in about a decade, so that'll be fun. And obviously I had to cut my hair because can't really put it up in a ponytail anymore. But yeah, it sucks. I was hoping to just be able to deal with the brace and not necessarily go the full recon, but unfortunately it wasn't in the cards with the amount of damage I had in the elbow. But went to Dr. Meister, and he went in there and then cleaned some things up and left some things in there to make sure that the movement's going to be similar to what I had pre-surgery. And I mean, this day and age, it sucks, but the rehab progress, the progress they've done with the rehab timelines and everything like that, it's the likelihood of coming back from it is pretty good. And now I know that I'm not one that's never going to put the work in, so now it's just a matter of me going out there and making sure I do things the right way, and also making sure I don't push it too much, but also push it a little bit.
You're 30, going to be 35.
Yeah, I'm 34 currently.
By that time you could come back.
Mm-hmm.
Does it go through your mind that your future?
No, there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be back. Same thing as when everything happened in January. It's there's no doubt that I will be back. I mean, at this point, I've been pitching with a less than stellar elbow for 15 years. So having a new one out there, I mean, hopefully it can add an extra couple years in the back end. I've always said I want to pitch. I've always said I've wanted to pitch till I'm 40, and this means after this one, I should be able to hopefully go a little bit longer than that.
Are you hoping it's with the White Sox, Liam? You know that I mean, we don't know what the timeline is going to be.
Yeah, I mean the ball's in their court. Obviously, they have an option for the end of the year. I have put it in their ears that I would like to stay. I think I have unfinished business here, and I feel like I can. That's why I wanted to rehab here. I actually petitioned to rehab with the team. The only trip I won't be going on is Colorado, just due to my altitude sickness. So yeah, I'll be traveling with them. I'll be doing everything with them, just because I feel like I have a little bit of value off the field, and hopefully I can bring something as far as like mentoring some of these younger, especially bullpen guys coming up with both Brian and myself out there, and hopefully we can put in that positive views, and that I can bring something to the field rather than what I was actually able to do on the field this year. I think anybody who's ever come through a clubhouse knows that, look, it is a very player-driven thing. If there's any sort of disagreements with anything else, it needs to be handled by the players. And yeah, I unfortunately I wasn't able to be here for the first 2 months of the season, and there were some things that were a little bit different this year than the previous couple of years. But look, it's been very hard for me to try and act as that kind of leadership role and trying to take charge with things, because I haven't been on the field. I don't feel like I have earned that credit this year by not going out there, and I feel like I'm a big kind of follow the leader kind of thing. Like, okay, I'll do this, and then people kind of follow in line. And the one thing that we've brought up with these younger guys now is be on time and be ready to pitch every single day. And that's all we ask for. Be on time, be ready to pitch, and that'll help you get wherever you need to be, and hopefully for the future, and hopefully lengthen their careers as well.
Were you concerned about the comments that were made by former teammates that open up a can of worms?
Not particularly. I mean, look, and no clubhouse is perfect. I think everyone understands the fact that there are some things that need to be addressed, and there was certain comments made that I wasn't here for, so I have no kind of recollection of anything like that because I wasn't here. But as I said, if any of those comments kind of rang true, it was on the players to handle it and make sure that they were taken care of and that they didn't have it again.
Is it naive for people to think that, just like in any group of any workers, that everybody's not always going to get along regardless, and there will be?
I mean, you got 25 or 26 now, 26 guys in a clubhouse, and let's be honest, athletes tend to have some egos on them. So you got 26 guys with somewhat inflated egos, myself included, and you're always going to butt heads. I mean, I have different philosophical views on the way a clubhouse should be than other guys. I like to maintain positivity and harping on the good things rather than the negative things, and some people the other way. But either way, no way is wrong, no way is right. It just matters that you mesh together. And we had some butting of heads that no one was willing to back down, no one was willing to concede, no one was willing to do that. So I think it really causes a rift. But now hopefully we can take the egos aside. We can get to a point where we're pushing for next year, and we can get the right frame of mind, the right kind of views on the way everything should be run. And everybody's going to concede at some point. Everybody's going to make a compromise. But at the end of the day, I think we've got the right people in this clubhouse. This is a position player group specifically that is extremely talented on paper, and they can and will live up to their standards that they should be able to, and that we get back to a playoff team. I wasn't here with Rick, and obviously Tony was more of I think health reasons more than anything. So I don't think classifying it as 3 different managers in 4 years is necessarily the right way to say it. But yeah, we're on our 3rd manager. Pedro's come in. He's his 1st year manager, and yeah, I think he spent some time trying to get the lay of the land and trying to figure out what goes on in this clubhouse. But I mean, I was with him in Kansas City. Enough guys have been around, and he's been in enough clubhouses with one of probably the better leaders that I've ever been around, Salvador Perez. And yeah, I think this is a learning experience, and I think that there's going to be a lot that can be learned from not only him, but the way he interacts with players, the way we interact with him, and the way we can move forward as an organization. I think it's every year you got to take the hard years like this year as a learning experience and a way to move forward and a way to not repeat things. And I think he's done a fantastic job in the communication, at least with me. Like, my own personal experiences with him have been fantastic. Like, we've spoken about things, anything that needs to be brought up. It's been a civil conversation, hasn't progressed to any sorts of levels of antagonistic or anything like that. So we have that mutual respect for each other, I think, and that's one of the big things that going around. You need to give each other respect, and at the end of the day, he's the manager. He's going to make the decisions. Whether I agree with him or not, he's going to make the decisions.